Croeso I FC Cymru and welcome to the European playoff final. We're here at the final game of the domestic season and it's a big one. Today is the showdown between Haverfordwest County and Caernarfon Town, and there is a spot in Europe up for grabs, with the winner of today's game going straight into the first qualifying round of the Europa Conference League. There's an incredible atmosphere already, the flags are flying, the Caernarfon fans are in the pub getting ready for the game, and it's one we can't wait for. But before we dive into the action, let's take a look at how football is helping the next generation of our players with our Kickstart scheme, which Rhian Wilkinson also took part in.
This is a school program that's about getting them out, enjoying it. That's how it starts for young people. It's just getting excited, getting interested in something, and they will then go on to try and find different opportunities for themselves.
It's been brilliant. I've never done this in school. Because this is the first chance of everyone doing it here. I think it's the best for everyone in this school to do what they want to do.
For us, we see that it's a real positive benefit. It's progressive in its approach, and it's a scaffold for staff to be able to use so that we make sure that we are hitting all those areas and aspects of skills development. If we can build that into our curriculum, then that framework will be a positive influence on our staff and on the children.
It's been really nice to see the different approaches and what the children say. So we'll finish a session and say, oh, I love doing that, but we've lost, which is exactly what we want to hear. So the main focus is fun. But what it also allows you to do is just adapt it and allow so many children to access the sport, which typically before might have been difficult.
Not much of the girls want to play football when we play, so it's just an opportunity for them to play with teammates and know what it's like to play with a lot of the boys.
We had to design a game to do with football that everyone could join in, even though they maybe wouldn't have liked football. We had to write the rules, the equipment we might need and explain then how the game works. My game was called Football Bibs. Basically, instead of tackling, they would have a bib in their pocket. So if you took the bib out of their pocket, they would give you the ball, do 10 star jumps and then come back in.
We've done a game where there was no goalkeeper, but you could only score from the defender's zone, which was quite fun.
It's making me feel way more confident because I'm playing with my friends, and makes me a bit more ready for actually playing against my classmates.
What the framework now allows us to do is change that culture around sport, and it's all about the fun, it's all about including everyone, and this just enables teachers and practitioners to do that easily and hopefully allow more and more people to take part in the sport.
Teachers are so great. They give so much extra time to their children and their schools and have the will to get it going. That's how change happens, and thank you to the programs that then step in to help with the curriculum and the manpower and the equipment that's often needed or lacking.
Well, what an impact Kickstart is going to have. The next generation of players is in great hands. Now, before we get into the action of today's match, let's take a moment to reflect on the season so far. And I'm delighted to say I've been joined by Owain Tudur-Jones, who has been following the season for Scoria the season. Firstly, what is your personal highlight of the JD Cymru Premier season?
So I look back on Britain Ferry. They'd really struggled at the start of the season, Llansamble, and everybody thought they're going to go down comfortably. And the fact that they beat the champions that were doing so well in Europe, it was one of those results that really stood out. And sorry to any TNS fans, I quite enjoyed that one.
In terms of TNS's dominance, what do you think is the key to that year on year?
They keep finishing top, they go to Europe, and the fact they've done so well means there's going to be extra investment. So it's always tough, but I think it's always good to see that the potential is there, the opportunity is there. We've seen Caernarfon run them closer and win the league a couple of years. We've seen Penabont go pretty close the last couple of years. So the gap is big, but I don't think it's impossible to close that gap further. So yeah, that's the task these other clubs have got.
So Penabont have also booked their place in Europe. How impressed have you been with them this season?
They've been really impressive and really looking forward to seeing them in Europe again.
In terms of today's finalists, what have you made of Haverfordwest and Caernarfon's campaigns?
The best thing about Haverfordwest is, yes, they're doing well on the pitch. Yes, there is that extra investment, but I think there's genuinely a feeling that the community has come together. They're getting one of the biggest average gates in the league this season, so it's a club definitely on the rise. Caernarfon, you know, they've had success over the last few years. As an ex-Bangor player, I get a bit of stick off them, but it's all love. I quite enjoy it. As a club, great people around the club, great bunch of players, great management team, and the fact that they've been successful and been able to carry on that success year on year over the last few years has been really impressive.
It's been another competitive season, but only 3 Euro places up for grabs. How do you think that has changed teams' approaches?
Yeah, it's difficult when you lose that spot, and the hope is it comes back and we can have the 4th. It just tightens things up. It makes sort of every game, and certainly games like this, even more pressure. Today, it's about one match, equal teams in terms of what they've done so far this season. Can't wait.
Well, plenty to reflect on, but now let's take a look at the Refugee Football Conference, which celebrates inclusion across Welsh football.
So of course our mission at the FAW is to ensure that everybody has the opportunity to play or be involved in football at all areas across Wales. We work quite closely of course with UEFA that has a refugee grant. So we were fortunate to obtain some funding from UEFA and work in partnership with them on delivering a conference here today that essentially brings people together from organisations, leagues, clubs, refugees themselves to find out about some of the opportunities that we have in Wales of becoming involved in football, and also then for those that can support refugees and providing those opportunities with them.
I think often sometimes people speak about refugees or even asylum seekers as a different group, whereas when you do speak to refugees and asylum seekers, they will tell you that, you know, again, they just want to feel like they belong in a place, right? Because they're no different from anyone else. So I think, you know, in as much as we've got considerations to make in terms of what are the barriers to participation, etc., it's just treating people just as people, as what they are really. So yeah, I think that could be the main takeaway that we all have coming away from today.
Bringing people together that maybe are unlikely in a room together, it enables people to ask questions that they probably wouldn't have the opportunity to do so before. And also just having this environment just of bringing people together, creating this welcoming community here to then be able to go out and do the same thing. It also gives people the opportunity to ask questions, but get the answers to then feel as if they have the confidence to be able to go out into their communities and then create that positive difference that we all want to have.
As part of our Football Welcomes Refugee Cymru programme, we work with Amnesty International over many years in terms of providing training and upskilling football clubs to understand about the journeys that many people who are seeking a safe place or are refugees have gone on to understand that, and how they can provide the best support to them within their football club. And of course we know many clubs really need volunteers, they need more coaches, they need more help. And it's a huge pool of individuals that are there and wanted to get involved as a coach or as a volunteer or even playing as well. And we'd certainly encourage clubs to reach out to them and to welcome them into their club and open their doors to them as well.
These events are so important because when we look at the situation of forced displacement today, there are over 122 million people who have been forced to flee their homes due to conflict, war, violence and persecution. And with the scale of that number and the challenges around forced displacement, no one can do this on their own, no one has the answer. So we at UNHCR talk about a whole of society approach, which brings together actors from government to local authorities, civil society, and football clubs themselves, with everybody doing what they can to welcome refugees.
Football, I think, probably is one of those activities just that brings everybody together. You know, people don't have to necessarily speak the same language, they just understand each other, right? And I think it's important, especially now where there's so much that's happening that's dividing communities, to have more activities such as football that bring people together. So more than anything, I think it's a connector, especially at times where we need it more than anything.
Well, first of all, so far so good. Do you feel you can relax yet?
I don't think I can. Third goal, Tudor's goal. Yeah, maybe we can after a third goal, but I'm not 100% with two.
What would it mean to you as a fan base and a club to qualify for Europe again?
You know, it'd be great. You know, we've had it a couple of years ago. I know Caernarfon had it last year as well. You know, it's two teams who've had the recent taste for it. So you know, we'd like to be back there, but you know, we'll see what happens because of full time.
Just how incredible is it to see this much support here for your team?
You know what, the support has been growing over the last few years anyway, so it's just a bit of a natural progression, but we knew it would be a sellout for this game, but it's good to see so many here to help support.
Well, all the best for the second half, and thank you.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, what a first half that was. Haverfordwest are leading by 2 goals, but there's still plenty of time to go. Now it's time for a breather and to find out what the PAWB mentoring programme is all about.
I think events like this is so important because there's so many different areas of football that you can be involved in, and for a young person thinking I enjoy football, maybe playing might not be the direction, but it opens up a whole different avenue, different areas, different departments that you can be involved in with football and work in and have a career and make a career in. That is why it's so important for a young person.
I was on the first cohort of the B Football Mentoring Programme, which is tailored towards women and girls looking to get into football, and I was fortunate enough to experience opportunities and gain work experience that way, that after the 8 months of my time on that programme, I then ended up with a job with the association. I haven't worked for the FAW for that long, so for me I thought, well, do I actually have the experience to be a mentor? But you've got to put all that doubt to one side, and if anything, you're just sharing your experiences with someone else.
We know that historically those from Black, Asian, mixed heritage backgrounds have been underrepresented in the game. So this programme very much is important to help those people from those backgrounds, to sort of empower them, to give them confidence, to give them the tools and to develop them and sort of signpost them into opportunities in football, whether that be at the FAW or clubs across Wales as well.
There's no better time, particularly for the global majority, to be part of sport, and in particularly for the part of FAW. I think the FAW want to do the right thing, and I think part of that is by increasing the number of people from the global majority working within the FAW, and the best way to do that is by starting by mentoring people, giving them the opportunity, the confidence, the skills, the knowledge and the resources to be the best they can be.
For someone who didn't know how to get in the industry or where to go really, is someone to shadow you, you know, and help you and point you in the right direction. And you know, networking as well, obviously. It's nice to see other people's background and why they're here and where they're going with their sports.
Right now I'm practicing to become a football coach, and I'm not limiting myself to just be a football coach. I'm also open to doing analyst job or being a backroom staff as well. As long as I could commit something to the football and contribute something to the community as well, I'll be more than happy with it.
The research shows us that having mixed experiences, mixed backgrounds really drives innovation and insight. So if everyone comes from the same background, then more than often than not, we'll come to the same solutions, we'll come to the same suggestions. So having a diversity of thought, having diversity of background is so important for us to be a modern and progressive association for the future.
All my life I've tried to be the best I can possibly be, and I want to give that opportunity to share with others. If you've got something to offer, it's important that you do, because you'll have more experience than somebody else. And if you have not, every day is a school day, so you can learn from each other. But the ultimate aim is to give people the opportunity to be involved in sport. And this project is giving people the opportunity to see what other options there are, and obviously to embrace this sport and be the best they can be.
You know, sometimes these are the things that start off your journey. I had one person, for example, at the end of the conversation just said, "Thank you, because you just given me that extra little bit of push that I needed." Now, I don't know when that happened, but along the conversation and the Q&A, that happened. I think that's the same with mentors. It's so important that when you can give somebody a little bit of hope, a little bit of extra energy, a little bit of, okay, now I know where I need to go next. That's the most powerful thing.
Well, Beggar, with 2 goals down, but you still feel you can come back in the second half?
Yeah, definitely. I think we got like 40 minutes now, so yeah, we still can come back.
Incredible support here today. How impressive and how incredible is it to see so much support here for your team?
I think it's amazing. I think we got the best fans in the league. Yeah.
Should you come back, what would it mean to you as a squad to qualify for Euro?
I think it will again like change the club forever. Yeah.
Thank you and all the best for the second half. Well, Dan, congratulations, off to Europe again. Brilliant performance, goal for yourself. You must be delighted with that.
Yeah, it can't go much better. I mean, coming into the game today, if you'd have given me that before it, I couldn't complain. I mean, just winning would have been great, so to get the goal as well, I mean, I'm on top of the world, to be honest.
What do you think it means to the town and the club to be qualifying for Europe again?
Like you say, I mean, now that we've done it 2 in 3 years, it becomes almost like a standard now which we want to set. So do it 2 out of 3 years, we can hopefully now establish ourselves as a European club.
Do you think it gave you added hunger today after your experience in Europe 2 years ago?
Oh, 100%. I mean, we all said it in the dressing room. That was kind of the motivation for the boys who've been there before. It was, can we do it again? Because how amazing the feeling was. And then for the new boys who haven't been there yet, it was kind of wanting to share that experience with them.
You must be excited now to find out who you'll be facing in Europe.
Oh yeah, it's like last time when we went to North Macedonia. I mean, again, we'll all be anxiously waiting for that draw, but whoever it is, it's going to be an amazing experience and hopefully we can go put on a show. So.
Now, I know you also wait for Haverfordwest Academy, a brilliant weekend for the club. Yesterday the under-19s qualified for Europe, so I guess it shows that you're really building something new.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just shows that the whole club's in a good place. It's been an amazing weekend. I don't think could have gone any better. Potentially the best weekend in Haverfordwest County's history, so yeah, amazing.
Time to celebrate now. How do you plan to celebrate? Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Well, so that's it from us here. Congratulations to Haverfordwest County. We'll be cheering them on in Europe this summer. We'll be back very soon with more from the world of Welsh football. But until then, diolch yn fawr and take care.